very good evening and a warm welcome to all our participants for this webinar. So with no more ado, we start our kind of the discussion today. So give me a second. Let me just quickly share my screen and check with you guys whether everybody is able to see the screen or not. So if someone from the audience can just comment or drop a note whether you are able to see, and then we can get started. So let me know if you're getting the chat. Okay, all right. I've got from Aryan Gupta, Satvik, Shruti. Okay, couple of folks. All right, great. Fine. Good. All right. So what is today's talk about? We have 1.5 hours ahead of us. So just give you a very brief of what we are going to talk about. So as the title says, demystifying data science. Now, data science is a buzzword which everybody kind of knows today. So it's no big deal what data science would be, but there's a lot of myths going around with data science. And another aim of this talk is to kind of give you a roadmap on how you go about to plan a career also in data science. So not only what data science is, but how do you go around, kind of planning a career. So a kind of agenda for the talk would be, as I said, what is data science? Comes naturally then, okay, so what do these people who call themselves data scientists do? What is this term? Who are they? Are they programmers who know math? Are they statisticians who learn programming? Are they IT guys who did a course and walked over? Who are they? What are they actually, right? Then we go on to how do you apply data science in business? So it's relevant all over today. So what are some of the places where it is very relevant? Okay. Then we will touch upon a very important part of data science, which is basically the part which people neglect, but it's very, very important. It's telling stories. Okay. So data science is not about, I run some fancy code and get some fancy output and make a bar graph and that's it. But there is a big art of storytelling, okay? Very big art. So we're going to talk about that. Then there's a lot of title misnomers going around. I mean, people are confused about, I want to be a data scientist, but then somebody says, I want to be a data analyst. And then people are confused as to, okay, I don't even understand what is a data analyst and a data scientist. To me, it all seems like same thing. You need to run machine learning codes and know this and that. So we're going to kind of take an attempt to give you a flavor of how these different designations or, these job roles rather are different from each other. Now, today, my son, who's like 5-year-old, knows about ChatGPT. He even uses it. So we cannot neglect not talking about GPTs, right? I am sure everybody has used ChatGPT or know about it. Okay. So that is how the prevalence of GPTs have. They are transforming today as we know it from a teacher's perspective, today as we know it from a student's perspective, today as we know it from an employer's perspective and an employee's perspective. GPTs, or the larger field of generative AI, is transforming the landscape. Okay, I'm not saying this with an attempt to scare people, but to make people embrace that, okay, you are very early, about GPT. We are at a middle career stage, and this technical transformation innovation has come in our lives. We are scrambling to learn, but you guys are right there and you can learn right from today, right? Then, because of all these transformations, there are certain jobs which were not there before, as opposed to what's going on in the social media that jobs are going to go away. Our talk today will tell you about the jobs which are coming, which were not there yesterday, thanks to the new technologies and these transformations, right? And finally, we will definitely touch upon how would you go about learning these and how would you land a data science job as a culmination of the talk about what data science is and what people do, right? So that's kind of the overall plan for our next hour and couple of minutes that we have. All right. So let's start with the words data science. Okay. So data science is what? Data plus science, right? That's the word. Now, we all know what science is, but do we really know what data is? So if you forget the dictionary part of the definition here, one question will be, will we be given the recording? I think that the hosting team can answer that question. Do we have a recording
Yes.
for this? Is it going
The
to be
recording is on, and you can
recording is
email
on?
it to us. We'll be great with
All
this.
right. So I think anybody who requests will be probably given a link for where the recording will be saved. So that, I guess, answers your question, right? Okay.
Yes.
So coming back to data. Now, data is everywhere. We are generating data every day without knowing it. Okay, so the moment, let's say, you go into a mall and buy something, that UPI transaction, that's a data. It's a data point which is generated, right? Okay. Now let's say you book a ticket or something, that's a data point which is generated. Let's say you like someone's post in Facebook, or you like an Instagram picture, or you tweet, or you like somebody's any reaction in social media, you are contributing to generating data, digital form or some form or the other. You're all generating data knowingly or unknowingly every single day, and tons of it. Okay. All right. No, this is a little older slide, but this talks about traditionally how the data has been coming in the picture when big data was going around as a big buzzword, I think in 2015, 16, that time. And the size of the data, as you can see, have been tremendously increasing. This was the original databases, our sales transaction databases. Then we moved on to web and web logs, and then it just goes on and on, like video, speech, SMS, MMS, social media. Today everywhere there is a data generation, and any transaction, any digital signature generates data, right? This is not the only source of data, as this cartoon speaks out. So as I spoke a little bit about, now you liking a tweet, you liking someone's post, you sharing somebody's LinkedIn post, those are all data points which are getting generated, other than a regular data point like buying something online, or a card transaction, or maybe making a phone call. Maybe that can also contribute to a line entry in your Airtel bill at the end of the month. That's a data point, right? So everywhere you think data is getting generated. Now, a word of caution to all the young people there. A lot of apps you may download on a smartphone which you may be using may apparently appear as free. A lot of these apps may appear as free. If the video game is free or some tool is free, remember this, it is not free. Somewhere when you are installing these softwares or these apps on your phone, you are clicking on a I agree checkbox. Most of us just do it blindly. Okay. What's the risk of doing that? Knowingly or unknowingly, you're accepting their terms and conditions. We hardly bother even to read through that. Oh, I'm getting it for free. I just need a quick tool to convert my camera image to a PDF. Let me get some doc scan or something. It's free. I don't need to pay for it. Tuck, 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 and I do it. What you are agreeing to is basically getting sold. Your information is being captured by them in that fine print. They're somewhere they're saying we have the right to share your phone number or email with our licensed partners. Basically, your bio is your address is getting sold off. That's still okay. What if the app actually listens to your conversations? What if the app captures your SMS from your bank? There are a lot of shady apps which do that. So be careful. If everything is free online, then what is getting sold is your identity. Okay, nothing comes free. Data is the oil. They're getting you as the data. If nothing is the cost, you are as at the data, right? So be a bit careful about what is the data. Sometimes we are the data. We don't even know about it. All right. So now let's talk about the science. We spoke a bit about the data, now coming to the science. Right? Now, you may be hearing this term machine learning, right? The most common term going around today, or artificial intelligence, a broader term which goes on. Maybe some of you are aware of deep learning, some you're not aware of deep learning, that is fine, but everybody is aware of computer science in general, right? So this is how these terminologies are placed. You have the broad field of computer science, which led to maybe the AI part being evolving out. Then you have machine learning coming in, deep learning coming in. Today you have generative AI, chat GPTs. You need to probably add that somewhere in the small corner. All of these transformations have come in. So that's basically the science part of the story. Now, data science is important. We all know that. This is a small infographic about the data science platform market. So the market where people use data science tools, how is that market looking ahead? We are at 2024. You can see the growth rate is projected as 27% of the platform, which means the place where you can use data science tools, which is a proxy kind of for the demand of these skill sets, right? So the demand of the skill sets is just going to go up. Now, as the demand goes up, there is the need for people to learn from places which can offer, really the difference between me knowing it and me really knowing it, right? So you can see you have opportunity in front of you, but which translates to you guys grabbing the opportunity from the people who can give you the best learning experience. Okay. Now you did learn about data and then you learn about science. So put that together, what constitutes the field of data science? Well, there is no one field. So first myth to be broken today is it's not a subject. It's a multidisciplinary composite, world. Okay, it's not one subject. So there are statistics, there's math, there is machine learning, there is database, there is programming, there is AI, all the fancy stuff. But that's just one part of the story. Then you have problem solving, communication, domain, business knowledge, and ability to analyze. Okay, so there is hard skills, there is soft skills, there is thinking skills. All of that goes into making a good data scientist. Okay, I may be good in programming, that doesn't make me a good data scientist. I may know all the algorithms very well, but when it comes to deploying them and creating a story out of what did I do, I am lost. I can just write the code and give you some numbers. Don't ask me to tell what these numbers mean. I'm sorry, I can't do that. No, then that doesn't cut ice. So a data scientist has to be a composite skilled person today. Again, you don't have to be a master of everything, but you definitely do to know a little bit about all these areas and, mix and match as is required. Okay, so certainly every field has some core skills, some soft skills, and what we call some applied and secondary skills. Right? Definitely, these would be what I would understand as some of the very core skills of a data science role. Got math, no doubt. Math should be math and stats. You've got tech skills. Okay, so can I manipulate with tools? Can I do coding? This, that, all of that technically savvy. So that's one. Problem solving. I know 100 things, but I really don't know how to solve a problem. A problem may require the simplest tool. Do I have a problem solving mindset? Problem solving mindset is I have a problem, I need to solve it. With what? Nobody cares as long as you get to solve it. So that's a problem solving mindset. Then a part which we neglect, you need to have a domain understanding. Data science as applied to healthcare may be very different from data science as applied to, let's say, the automotive industry. Two may require completely different kind of knowledge base where you apply these algorithms, right? So if you are working in data science, it's important that you know a little bit about the organization or the kind of work they do and what is the problem area or the domain area that you're trying to solve. Now, when you are aware of these things, you will see that data science jobs or applications would be more or less around these four, but not restricted to. So one is descriptive, which is more like insights, I call it. So something has happened, okay? The management wants to know what went wrong, what went right. It could be, did profits fall in a certain year? In which consumer segment was our sales highest? Which brand or which product did the top performance? So what happened in the past? We want to know a nice window on that. That's descriptive. Okay. Something went wrong in the past again. why did it go wrong? So descriptive says, this is what happened. Diagnostic wants to give you the answer why it had happened, right? So maybe it could be something like, let's say, in a certain company has 20 factories across the world, and a certain area or maybe 2 or 3 factories, there's been a large number of incidents. When I say incidents, these I refer to safety incidents happening. So that came out from the descriptive report. Now the management wants to know why. Okay, your diagnostic analytics would answer the why part of the story. So I'm just going to quickly check the chat. All right. Okay, so the diagnostic would apply. So they would apply some algorithms and do, okay, so this is what happened. This is what went inside. Can we correlate with this factor to that factor, right? So you do some kind of an analytics on it and you get something. Then the next level is, can we predict tomorrow? So for example, we've got a whole bunch of data with us, our demand, sales, whatever data be coming in. We've been collecting it for 5 years. Now, this Diwali season, I need to be very careful in managing my operational costs. So for example, I normally have 10 people in my showroom. I own a big sari showroom or a big clothes showroom in, Chandigarh or Mohali or, in Bangalore or Delhi. Now, I normally employ 10 salespeople, but do I have enough data from the last 5 years or maybe the post-COVID years? Let me be more specific, that this has been my demand, which has been growing. This has been the sales 10 days before Diwali. This has been how my sales figure looked 1 month before Diwali. Can I gauge that? Can I predict that? If I'm able to predict that well, then I will be able to employ for 1 month extra workers. I can advertise temporary contract sales people needed for the month before Diwali. So I get to plan in advance if I can predict what is my need. So that's where machine learning algorithms come in, help you make predictions. Now, given a situation, what should you do? So let's say you predicted that sales might fall, sales might go up, or things might go wrong or right. Then you prescribe, okay, you know what? We need less people in this department, more people in the t-shirts department. So you can prescribe a solution or a plan or a strategy to address the need. So basically, these would be the high level facets of what people do in the industry when they say they do data science, other than the 5% of the people who design robots that look like human beings and can talk, right? Bulk of the job would be around these areas. Now, coming to a little more level down. Okay, so we've got different problems in the industry, but the problems can be categorized into certain sections. Again, this is not a fully covering list, but this is kind of a list which gives you an idea of where what kind of methods may be applied. So for example, let's say I am an ad agency, okay? And my job is to send emails for people to come to a music concert, which I'm hosting, and tickets will be available at certain Starbucks and McDonald's outlets. Now, there is a cost for me to send an SMS. There is a cost for me to send a WhatsApp because I'm a commercial person. I'm not sending WhatsApp to my friends. I'm sending it to a whole bunch of phone numbers. So whatever is that cost, I have 10 lakh numbers with me. I've got it from some source. Should I send this message to all the 10 lakh numbers? My job is done. But then my boss says, WhatsApp is going to charge us, let's say, 1 rupee for every 10 customers. So you do the math. Now, if I send it to 10 lakh, I'm going to spend 1 lakh. Do I spend 1 lakh blindly? Or there are certain customers for which this movie show may matter. So then if I happen to know a little bit about my customers, like maybe the age group, maybe the income group, maybe are they in a metro or a rural setting, maybe a little more about their demographics. If I'm able to know a little more about their demographics, I am in a better position to decide, okay, you know what, my entire 1 lakh numbers can be broken into 5 categories. There are these young groups, these groups who have job and are young, these groups who are in metro have job and young. So, you get the picture. It's a music concert. I know which category I'm going to shoot my messages first. So maybe instead of spending 1 lakh, I may just target 10,000 customers. And out of the 10,000, the chances are that, uh, maybe 400, 500 of them will buy the tickets. Okay. So instead of sending to 1 lakh and getting 400 people turn up or 300 people turn up, I'm sending them to 10,000 and getting 400 people turn up, right? I know that the number 10,000 versus 400 is big, but then look at 1 lakh versus 400, you're trying to reduce and target. So you can do those kind of things by segmentation, classification, these kind of methods. Then let's take an example from fraud, which is happening every day in newspapers. You're reading this senior person lost money, this retired person lost his savings. Why? Some fraud investment schemes, or the OLX scam which is happening, or the telephone department is calling you. All these are scams, right? Now, can we design algorithms which can detect if this is scam? How can we do that? Maybe there's some pattern in the transaction which is different from a regular pattern. I'll give you a simple example which everybody can correlate. Okay. Let's say that my credit card is stolen, some reason, God forbid that happens. Now, I normally don't make purchases at 1 a.m. and that too internationally, and that too above a certain dollar amount. Most of my credit card purchases would be either Myntra or Flipkart or Amazon.in at the most. Okay. Now, if my card company is smart, they will put together an algorithm which will detect runtime that this transaction is very anomalous, very different from what this guy's normal transactions are. They would probably not let the transaction go through. They would stop the transaction and give you a call or a message that this transaction was attempted on your card and it has been blocked because it appeared to be something. Okay. So you have techniques to detect, is this different from a regular? Okay. Then let's say that a company wants to know that, how much of my sales will happen in the next year, given that I have so much of supply or so much of production capacity in end of this year. So then it's like you put some kind of regression models and try to fit a formula that, okay, given X, what is going to be my Y? Okay. So different problems are there and different kind of data science approaches are there for us to tackle these, different cuts of the problem. Now, there's of course the class of the robot problem, where a robot is, you've seen probably videos that robots are trying to walk, and initially they walk wobbly and then they start walking better and better. So there are techniques like which give a feedback about how a certain robot or object reacts, and then it improves based on the feedback. So these kind of come under your kind of reinforcement learning objects. Then some of you may are aware of biometrics. I'm sure a lot of us are aware of what a biometric is. So some of us who are on the job, we go every day, we come and our face gets captured in a camera and it says, okay, this is employee number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, in attendance marked. How does that happen? So that camera is preloaded with all our images, and there is some machine learning, some AI algorithm which is going on, which is able to say that, this is Anish and not Avinash. It is able to say this is Avinash and not Sanket, right? So it says, okay, got this image has certain characteristics, face, shape, color, whatever, blah, blah. And it's able to detect which category this is. Category Anish, yes, check. Right? So you employ these kind of algorithms as well, today a lot. Okay. As I said, there's a business component to data science. Not all of data science is just algorithms, right? So data science, of course, starts with data. So that is the oil, you need to have the gasoline, otherwise the engine won't run. Now the engine is all these algorithms, all these analytical procedures. That's the heart. That's what's driving the show. Now, in a car, you have these dashboards. Today, all these cars have fancy dashboards and panels, right? So the insights, the numbers, the stats, the output, that's what we call the insights. So that comes as a dashboard, as a product from your analytics engine. Now you see on the dashboard that my fuel is on the low. So you're in a car, or somebody, your uncle or your mom or dad or your elder brother is driving the car, and then suddenly this beep, 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 this fuel indicator starts beeping, right? So your dashboard, something peeps. And you are on the highway, and maybe you are going from Bombay to Goa or some scenic route. And you just passed a sign that next fuel pump is 2 kilometers away. And you also have to reach there on time. Now you take a decision that, you know what? I am really low on gasoline. There's a chance that I might run out if I go for 5 more kilometers. So I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to slow down, take the exit at 2.6 kilometers, get my gasoline. That's a decision. So data, analytics, insights, you took a decision. And did the decision pay off? Well, this was not a business decision. This was a personal decision. So let's put it in a different way. Let's say that you did not take the right decision. You said, no, 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 I will get some more pumps ahead. Let me go. Let me go. And you missed this petrol pump at 2.6 kilometers. Now, unfortunately for you, there is no petrol pump in the next 10 or 15 kilometers. You run out of oil. Your car stops. Then what you have to do? You have to call somebody, call a friend, call a cab, stop some other car, request that person, pay him extra money to just let you go to the petrol pump, then pay the petrol pump some more money to have it delivered to you. You end up losing money, time, and that's represented by that money bag, right? So if you take the right decisions, you get the right rewards, right? So data, from data to through the dollar, as we call it, or data to the rupee, it comes through this flow. So when you take the right decisions driven with data, you get the results. Okay. Now, I did say that storytelling was important. Remember, I said that, I'm going to talk about this part, right? So a data scientist is not only a guy who knows how to run a machine learning code, who knows how to run a program, or who knows how to call a SQL query. A data scientist also has to tell stories with data, which means first and foremost, you need to understand where you are. Are you working for a mining company or a healthcare, or is it a bank? What is the context? Then, what is it that you are presenting? Are you presenting next 3 years ka growth of sales? Are you presenting which pump or which plant did poor or bad? What are you presenting? Think about it. Then you choose an appropriate number graphic. So if you are presenting a growth plan, it should be like a trend line, a curve which is going up, hopefully going up, not going down. If you are presenting a performance chart, it can be a bar graph. I've got four branches or four plants. This plant scored 100 million, that plant scored 200, that plant scored 50. So it's a bar graph, right? So what are you presenting? That defines what you should choose. You don't choose every visual for every kind of presentation. Then I want to impress my bosses. So all the graphs I put in one slide, nice, heavy. Well, that's not a good idea. Is also something called aesthetics to making a visual. So one is you make the visual technically, and the other part is the aesthetics, how you put it together. So maybe a good data scientist would put one idea in one slide. If that idea or that result requires two graphs, okay, two graphs, but one result per slide. So you are going to narrow down a person's attention to just whether the sales is growing or decreasing. You don't have to mention whether the price should change or not. First, focus on one idea. Then, once you have this graph, these numbers, and these companies, you tell your story. So you actually have to script your story before you go to this meeting with higher management. You need to write down, or as we do in movies, make a script that, okay, you know what, I'm going to first maybe Just welcome all to the meeting and say, what is the result, business result I'm going to present? How am I going to do it? And maybe I can give some suggestions, right? So it's a lot about communication skills. It's a lot about presentation skills. And it's amazingly lot about storytelling skills also. Okay. Now, so this graph, okay. Can some of you just write down in the chat, what do you think is the story? So this graph has some numbers, some bar graphs. What do you think is the story this graph wants to tell? We'll look at some of those chats. Go ahead, you can type it on the chat.
You can
Let's
also
wait.
give virtual hands. I will allow you the permission to talk.
Yeah,
So if
we
someone
get
wants to
that as
speak,
well.
okay. Arav Mathur wants to talk. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Arav, please go ahead.
This graph shows the endorsement earnings of the top IPL players. So, for example, MS Dhoni may have endorsed a certain brand, and in that he's earned more than 20 million, almost $25 million. So
Okay.
we have these different players who are earning money from endorsements.
Okay, so that's an observation. That's the observation. Do you want to, can you get at the story what this infographic is saying? So that's an observation. What you're saying is you're reading out from the graph that he earned 23, that we can see. Is there a story which this, think a little bit higher up, think strategically. Is there a story which this is telling? Yes, someone.
Kushal Kritan, you can
Shall,
speak.
okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Sir, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah,
Yes,
sir, I think
Kushal,
the
go ahead.
story here could be that MS Dhoni and Virat Kohli are the most famous players and they get more endorsements. And after that, except them, the other guys get in the range from 0 to 5 million. So that could be a strategy or a story behind this graph, is what I
Yeah,
feel.
that definitely could be a story, that there are definitely two people who are, I mean, given 2016, who had been basically getting the bulk of the advertisements, or maybe they were more famous in their game and they had the crowd popularity, and maybe brands were approaching them more. That compared to the entire
So there's
top
one more answer in
earners.
the chat box.
Yes, in the chat. Yes.
Yes, sir. Prateek says, I think the infographic conveys that IPL players who are more famous
Yes.
earn more endorsement earnings
Yeah.
because they can influence more people.
Yes, so that's a very good, thought line of thought, because now you are basically saying strategy. You are saying, look, you know what? These people are more famous, A, because they are more famous, more people follow them. B, because more people follow them, if MS Dhoni advertises for some product, I want to buy it. Okay. That's exactly what we want to hear. Okay. Yeah, the magnitude, it reflects their popularity, but the magnitude is a number. We want you to tell a story which we just said. That's the story. Okay. The number is the observation. Okay. MS Dhoni 23. Okay. Virat Kohli 18 million. Fine. That's a number. And I can see that everybody else is under 5 million. That's also a number. But the story is just what one of you guys said. That's the story, right? So that is what I'm trying to say. You don't present numbers. Numbers are there in the chart. They'll be there in the slide. You need to present the story behind the numbers. What does this numbers mean? Okay. That is the story data scientists have to present. Yeah. Do we have any more?
Yeah, we have Abhinav who says that the magnitude of the endorsement, the results of after an IPL series, maybe with the factors of their performance and popularity.
Yeah, definitely. This is another story. So you could kind of correlate that how well they have performed in the series with respect to how much advertisement earnings they have done right after the series.
Right.
So that gives you a kind of window into, their performance as well, right? Very good. Great. Great answers, all of you. Okay. Now we come to, I mean, this has bugged me a lot myself. I see tons of people trying to define tons of definitions. So let's stick to three simple definitions. Data scientist, data analyst, data engineer. A lot of people, when they're in their first year, they are confused as to, what is it that I should do? Okay. So just to break the myth right away. Okay. Let's start with the middle one, a data analyst. Analyst analyzes data, which means you probably have to know how to filter data, how to maybe read an Excel file, how to extract, pull data, how to put it in a dashboard. You should be smart enough to grab the stories behind the data, and you might have to know a little bit of the basic programming and BI tools and data pulling. That's SQL. So that's roughly what a data analyst does. Data engineer. The engineer what may be misleading, but data engineer as it is, what they do is they help to build the system on which data analysts and data scientists work, which means they will work on things like getting the data into a certain repository or in a form or available to your dashboard or available to your machine learning models. So how do they do that? Is the data on some computer? Is it on the cloud? Is it in a big data form? How can they minimize the time it takes to grab that data, pull it when you want it, right? So they need to be definitely super strong on programming skills, data skills, cloud computing, distribution, optimization. So they work on keeping your, the pipeline, building the pipeline. Now, the last but not the least, the data scientists themselves. So I'm a data scientist. What do I do? Of course, I do have to know a bit about everything, but my bulk of my job is the data will be given to me. I'm not the data engineer guy mostly. So I would then need to clean the data. It may be defective. There may be blanks, junks, wrong data in it. So I have to work on that. Then as is the data may not be helpful to my machine learning model. I may have to transform the data. Maybe I need to find out how much a person can spend. But the information I have is his income. So, and I want him to spend on luxury watches. Now, of course, then based on the income, I might create a segment called, high earning, middle income, low income. And then that segment can help better go into my next modeling stages or segmentation stages. So I have to work on from the data given to me, clean it, fix it, make it more meaningful, create features out of it. That's level one. Then, of course, my problem solving mindset comes in. Okay, so what is the problem that I've solved? What are the AI ML techniques I need to do? Now I have very clean data with every cut of information there. Let's apply this model to the data, get some output. Now, is that the best output? Probably not. I get some output. Then I need to maybe improve the model, tweak it a bit, change it a bit till I get a better or higher accuracy. Now, once all of that is done, then I have some result, maybe a prediction, maybe a classification, and then I can do my storytelling part. So here I need to know programming, a bit of SQL, all the ML models, the platforms and things like that. So there is overlap between all the three roles, but there is also some amount of differentiation between all the three roles. Okay. There are many other roles which are coming up today. So it's very difficult to keep track. There is an ML engineer today. There's an AI engineer today, but I mean, there will be again mix and mash of these three core job roles. Okay, so that's demystifying job roles for you guys. Okay, now as I said, today you cannot neglect ChatGPT. Everybody has heard about it, if not used it, right? So I asked ChatGPT, tell me about yourself, what you are. So this is the answer ChatGPT gave. Okay, so it's an artificial intelligence language model developed by OpenAI. Everybody today probably has heard about the company called OpenAI. It's based on a certain architecture. It basically, so you can read it. This is the answer given by ChatGPT when I asked it to explain what is ChatGPT. So it is describing itself. Okay. And the way it works. So that's a very, very simple definition. It's a language-based model which can converse with humans in a natural English language. It's trained on a lot of data, and it basically resembles a human-to-human conversation. So today the models are getting fancier and fancier, and a little more accurate in what they respond to. Now, having said that, everybody should be aware of ChatGPT. ChatGPT, the chat part we all know, chatting, right? What is the GPT part? What is that? So GPT is 3 words: generative, pre-trained, and transformer. Let's at a very high level understand what generative is. Okay. So assume that a model, an AI model, given its trend, if you give it X, it does know how to apply a formula on X and it will give you Y. That's how a normal AI ML model works. You give it X, it is trained, it knows what formula to apply. You put X and you get Y. What generative does this is you give generative X. X is a picture of a white horse, a picture of a white horse running, 2 brown horses standing. Let's say that's the universe of all the information these generative models have been trained on. It doesn't give you based on what your X is. It doesn't give you and say there are 2 brown horses in the picture. It is able to create a picture where a brown horse is running alongside a white horse, which was not even there in the original set. So the idea which I'm trying to say is the generative means it generates a data point which was not even there, or it generates a cut which was not there in the set which was given as input. Rather, it has somehow learned the essence of what it was given, and it created a version from that essence which is new. Absolutely. So that's the very high level essence of the word generative. Okay. The pre-trained word may be a little technical, so I'm not going to go into that. It just means that when I say, given X, Y, which means Y has to be a formula, right? Let's say Y is 3 times X square. Make it very simple. So how does it know it is 3 times X square? Is it went through a lot of data training, and the value 3, it came to know that it has to multiply X with 3 or X square with 3. So that is your pre-trained part. Don't worry about the technicalities here. Now comes the last word, transformer. So after I think the world of AI came, this transformer technology, which came in 2017, really changed the world of AI. Okay. Transformers are very, very different beings. Like Optimus Prime is a very, very different kind of a robot. Even if you call Optimus Prime a robot, he will get angry because he will say, we are living beings of a different kind from a different planet, right? So transformers are a different being. They are not a formula generator. Okay. They are a technology which really has transformed the way this whole language and whole data models happen. So today, you can say that, it's a sunny day and I want to wear a hat, and the model will be able to comprehend sunny with you hat, and both is in the same sentence. Right? It will be able to understand the context. Before, it would not. That is due to the technology which has gone into transformers and a special technology developed in transformers called attention models. Right? So that's the technology. Now, coming to what do you do with GPT? Well, most students I know, they generate their assignment homework solutions with GPT. But what else can you do with GPTs? Well, you can translate text. Yes, you can train a GPT to write an input in French and give you an output in English. the app we have in our smartphones. I think there's one app which is the Google Translate, which is probably based on something like this. Then you can ask GPT to write a story. It will write a story or a music, which means it can generate text and writing. Then it can say you have a big fat book, 30 pages, a PDF. Somewhere in that book is mentioned about travels to Shimla. Somewhere in that travels to Shimla is mentioned about maybe a cost or some time or journey parameter. Now you can just today attach that PDF, shoot it to ChatGPT and ask, please refer to the PDF and tell me what is the approximate cost to reach Shimla from Delhi. And it has the power, or it has the technology to read the entire 30-page document, A, understand the 30-page document, B, give you a number based on the information which is content, as opposed to I have a 30-page document where it is written the cost to travel to Shimla from Delhi is 5,000 rupees. Let's say that information is not there. So what I'm saying is we are not looking at somebody who is doing a Control F on the question and getting the number and giving you. Maybe the text has, well, you can go from Delhi to Shimla in 3 steps. Step A, you need to take a train from A to B. Step C, auto from station this to this. Roughly the distances are that. Auto rates in Delhi are per kilometer this. Indian Railway, train tickets are priced this. It understands that it has to do that. Then it tries to find the information. Then it adds that, and then it gives you a number. So that is what GPTs can do today. As opposed to Purane Zamane wala, you do Control F on cost and you may not get that number directly. Right? So that is what the power of GPTs are today. Then you can ask it to create a website. It will just churn out a code in HTML to create a website. Or you can say, I want to learn programming. I don't know how to write a program to add 2 numbers. You just say, please write a program to add 2 numbers. It will write that program, run it with an example output and say, this is the program. If this is your input, this is an example output. Or you can say recommendations. Today, they are trained on a lot of travel websites as well. So I want to go to Sikkim. What are the best things to do in Sikkim? Top places to visit. It will give you recommendations. If you say, give me top recommendations to go to Sikkim on a student budget, it will give you that. It will say, I'm going with my family on a budget. It will give you that. So the smarter you write the prompts, you see, the better GPT will give you the answer. So that's something also to be kept in mind, right? So based on your input, it can give you a better output, right? So GPTs can do all of the above and much more. Okay, switching gears a little bit. What are the traditional job outputs or roles which you could take up, right? Well, let's have a look. The traditional outputs or roles would have been a data scientist, a researcher in language, a robotics person, a computer vision specialist. This was kind of what was going around in the market now and maybe a couple of years before. These were the kind of job descriptions or things which are current. But with GPTs, with generative AI, even this, which is supposed to be cutting edge, is broken now. There is new paths, completely new job roles which are evolving. So companies are saying, okay, you know what? We need to train our staff. We have enough data scientists. We have enough AI scientists. No, but these are the new kind of jobs which are getting created. There's something called AI ethicist. Today's world, Taylor Swift's image gets morphed and distributed in a wrong way. And those kind of things go against ethics of using AI, which can twist a person's picture, make it dance or whatever. So now companies have realized you need to have a person who understands law, who understands AI, okay, and what is wrong and what is right, and what an AI should do and what an AI should not do. For example, if ChatGPT is able to tell me how to make a bomb, it should be banned immediately. They should know, the company who created ChatGPT should know, if somebody types, give me the recipe of how to make a bomb, it should not respond, and it won't. It won't respond. So you need to have AI ethicists, which is a new job title coming up today, right? I would call it a completely new title based on legal, social, ethical, and knowledge of AI. Then data labelers. Remember, I told you whether it was Anish or Abhishek or Srikant, that, that categorization of AI models. Well, somebody had to take 20 pictures of Anish and label it as this is Anish. Somebody had to label the data when these models were getting trained. That's a very laborious task, but there are now AI techniques and methods and experts, of course, who know how to label data. So some are low-end, low hard-coded methods, some are sophisticated methods. But there are people whose job is to label data. Then a Nike shoe in a supermarket, okay, somewhere, has a screen on the outside of the store. Any point of time you go to the mall, outside the store, there is this digital screen. There is a Nike Air Jordan red color. There is a flat sole Nike. There is another one. Now you just put your hand and pull it. It just appears that the shoe is coming out and floating in front of you in thin air. Then you rotate it and you can see the sole of the shoe. You twist it, you'll be able to see the inside, outside. You've not touched the shoe, you just used hand gestures in front of a smart screen. You didn't even go inside the store. That's augmented reality. That's like wearing those goggles, but instead of goggles, it's happening in front of you. 3D movies, right? The thing comes out. That's augmented reality. There are a lot of jobs today as people who do that work. You need to know AI, you need to know vision, you need to know a little bit more. Then, remember we used to go to the doctors and the doctors write notes and all, and today they type some notes in the computer, or maybe they do it on their notebook and all of that. Well, that notes has to be assimilated, right? Patient's notes has to be assimilated. So today there are medical people and there are data science or AI people who know how to use AI to summarize a patient's history, or maybe they know how to develop a AI product, which, given that, all the doctor's notes on a certain patient. So when the same patient comes, the doctor clicks a button or an app, and the entire history of this patient is digitized and summarized and presented to the doctor. So he or she doesn't need to spend time looking through notes. Okay, in 2016, you came to me. That time you had a little bit of high sugar. Today you are coming to with cholesterol, and that flipping through the notes. No, so that AI tool will be smart enough to go through all the notes, bring out only the relevant facts for this patient, present it in front of the doctor, and present the current symptoms of the doctor and assist the doctor in, okay, this is his history, this is his symptoms, this is the probable disease he or she has. Of course, the doctor takes a final call on that. So AI assisted healthcare technicians. Predictive maintenance is an old thing, but with AI, now you have AI assisted engineers who do machine failure predictions. So what is machine failure predictions with AI meaning as opposed to normal? So let's say that I am running or I am responsible for the rail track between A to B. And normally once a month, a team goes from station A in a tuk carriage and with some sonar or some other equipment, checks the line for cracks or not, or something like that. Now, today I would probably have sensors which will send sound waves or vibration signatures across the tracks continuously or at some intervals. There'll be sensors which will pick up the signal from the other end. If there is a crack, the signal will behave differently at the end. If there is no crack, the signal will behave in a certain way. Today, I will have AI models who are able to understand the difference between this machine or this metal is cracked and this is the signal of the crack. The machine is or the metal is not cracked and this is the signal of the non-cracked metal. If there is signs of cracking, how the signal changes, it will be able to understand that, and it will be able to send a warning alert that this machine is about to fail. There is a very small crack, take action now. So this is very high level, if I could say it, at a very low tech version of saying what is preventive maintenance. At technicians who are using AI to prevent a machine from getting failed using AI techniques. That is predictive maintenance. These are all jobs which are coming up and will be the jobs of tomorrow. Data scientists, yes, fine, but very, very sophistication is happening, okay? Evolving, that's what I say. Now, if so much is there in front of you, then how do you go about landing the job? Well, there are, first of all, no shortcuts to it. There's no magic. There is no one day YouTube video that you will learn and know everything. There are some good YouTube videos though, but nothing magical. So I think the first thing is your course, fundamental course. So a place, a university, somewhere you have a very good, well-designed program to prepare you for these fundamentals. Then that experience should also teach you how to showcase. Okay. So how do you showcase that learning? So you learn something, how do you showcase that? Develop a portfolio of your case studies in GitHub and participate in these competitions and, get scores and stuff like that. Show your progress in LinkedIn. Then, of course, these programs would have some internships, some chance to do real work, but you can do today freelance projects. You can take up free projects also from people. You can do those, and that is your experience. So you know the math and the programming. You have showcased some case studies. You have worked for external agencies. All of that is not enough. Okay, so have everybody else. So why should I give you the job? I have 4 people who have done exactly the same. So that's where your networking and connections come into play. So you know the people who matter. So there are 4 other people who know what you know, but you know the people who matter. So your resume goes to the person who matters. How do you get that person? Well, you would be going to conferences, publishing papers, writing articles, and that's how you get connected to people. And you use professional networking like LinkedIn to improve your connectivity, and you contribute and connect. And then if you know the person who takes the decision in the hiring, you're already ahead of 10 other people who probably may know more than what you know, right? So that's how you get to the actual job, right? So that's landing the data science job portion of it. And finally, some quotes from some very famous people, including DJ Patil, Charles Babbage, and Edward Deming. So yes, today we are standing in India, which is the cradle of the ancient world's knowledge, and also we have the potential to be the cradle of data science. You see what started maybe with US as the superpower in AI has been slowly drifting out of US. China has kind of giving a very tough competition to US today. We don't see any reason why India can beat China. If we all have the same focus, same discipline, there's no reason why we cannot be number 1. We have the people, we have the talent. We just need to put 2 plus 2 together. Of course, you need data. We all trust God, but we still need data for that. So with that, I end my part of the talk, which is the delivery part. I hand it over to our curator for the next steps, questions, and your participation.
Yes. Thank you so much, Professor, for all your expertise. In fact, I myself was not aware about careers like AI ethicist and data laborers. I'm sure the audience have benefited. I have a question before we take up the questions from the audience, sir. You spoke about multidisciplinarity
Yeah.
that data science as a career offers.
Hmm.
So Plaksha University also offers a program called Data Science, Economics, and Business. So
Yes.
would you let us know how it is different from a traditional data science course which other engineer schools actually offer?
Right. So if you see a lot of the established schools, they don't really offer a curated data science program. If you go to any of these US universities, they will say, take 4 courses from computer science, take that 1 course from economics, take this course from there, and then you pass all the courses, you get your degree. That is still there. That's what is happening right there. So what Plaksha has done is it has curated it into tracks. DSEB, the data science and economics business, that's a track. Okay, so it's very curated, which means what you learn in SEM 1 is tied to what you will learn in SEM 2. It will be tied to what you will learn in SEM 3. It will be paving the ground when you go from your, from your freshmore to more senior years. So everything is designed in a way that it flows from A to B to C to D to E in this track. And of course, economics and, little bit of that is always there, and business is there. It is not go to economics department, take 2 lectures, go to computer science department, take 2 lectures, go to math, learn linear algebra and come. Here, A has to be related to what will come in B. B has to be related to what will come in C. That much amount of thought and planning has to go in the syllabus design, which we have done, doing, iterating and improving.
Right. Thank you so much. I think that's why Plaksha has coined, the interdisciplinarity aspect in all of the courses that it offers. Well, thank you so much, sir. From the audience, if you have any questions, you can either raise virtual hands. I'll allow you permission. Otherwise, you can put your questions in the chat box. Kushal Ketan has a question. Please unmute, Kushal.
Hello. Yeah, so my question was what are the requirements for this course? Like in 12th and 11th, what are we required to take, and how much are we supposed to get? And also, like what is the like how will data science especially help in economics, and like what is the future ahead if we continue with this program, if we take up this program?
Okay, so I'll break your questions into 2 parts. One is the admission requirements, which will be handled. I'll take over more on the second part of your question, okay, because the admission requirements are specific. So how will data science help? So if you see today, if I were to go back in time, which I can't, I would take up ecostat maths in my undergraduate. Given that, the fundamental of everything, there is a math, and everything has to have money, and it has to have economics. So today there is huge demand of economists who are not just economists, who know a bit of coding, who know regression, who know the techniques of AI. The whole BFSI sector is a big recruiter and a big promoter of AI and an early adopter of AI. You've got banks, you've got financial organizations, you've got lending agencies, you have credit rating agencies. Everybody's on the hunt for someone who knows both economics and a bit of the AI. So that's like a killer top combination today. Kushal, that's for you.
Yeah, so that is why I have interest in this course and wanted to join Plaksha for that. But like, if you could also help me with the admission process too.
I'm sure the team will reach out to you for all the specifics required for the admission process on that side.
Yes, we can actually answer that on the session, sir, if you allow us.
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah, do that.
Right, sir. So Kushal, for all the BTech programs at Plaksha, you need to have a mathematics, which is mandatory, and also Plaksha has a common curriculum for the first 3 semesters. For the first 3 semesters, and post that you can pick up your majors. So you can come undeclared. So like I said, the basic eligibility is to have mathematics at a 12th level, and although both CBSE, SSC, and IB are welcome. Okay, I've also shared the link for the admission details on the chat in the chat box, so you can visit that. Yeah. So we have another question. I hope, Kushal, we were able to answer your question.
Yeah, only one last thing. Is it a triple
Sure.
major? So if you are saying I'll be doing data, I'll be doing economics, business, and coding and everything. So what's the main major in this?
There are
It's a
couple of majors. It is one major. This is one major which kind of encompasses the different facets. So the initial years will be more generalist subjects, and then from fourth sem onwards, it becomes more specific. But there's one major. You're not doing three majors. You're doing one major.
right.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you, Kushal. We have another question for you in the chat box, sir.
Okay, on the chat box. Okay, let's have a look.
Yes. Pratik says, sir, can students with commerce background do certified courses in data science? Also, from an entrepreneurial perspective, what aspects of data science are absolutely necessary?
Okay, so two different questions. Certified questions in data science, obviously you can do, but you need to have the aptitude to learn the math and the programming. So you can't shy away from that. Otherwise, your certificate courses will have aspects of those. From the second part of your question, which is a different question, what aspects of data science are absolutely necessary to be an entrepreneur? Well, a simple answer is you don't need data science to be an entrepreneur. I know Dolly Chaiwala is making lots of money without knowing data science. But jokes apart, if your entrepreneurship is a startup in data science, I think more than knowing aspects of data science, you should know the aspects of the domain. Okay, strong knowledge of math, programming, and technology, that is the engineering side, would be probably needed. From that, you would have to have a very strong background of the domain. What are you trying to build? Who will buy it? Is it cost effective? These would be coming from the entrepreneurial side. And in Plaksha, we do have programs and boot camps which cater to this side, which is not a textbook side of the question. It's a very different side. That's why it is not coming out of the data science syllabus, but I think Plaksha is one place where you get answer to this question. All right. So let's take some more questions. Can you help
Yes,
here?
sir. We have Miss Anjali who wants to ask a question. Anjali, you can please unmute.
Yeah, Anjali, go ahead. Yeah.
Anjali, you can unmute now.
Hello, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Yeah. So my question was whether, for this AI course, I've understood like one needs to have maths, whether it is with commerce or science or humanities, that doesn't matter. And economics is an added advantage that also we have understood. Now, this maths can be core for sure, or applied is also accepted.
I mean, as long as you have some math background, that will be helping, because there will be some basic amount of math courses which will come in the first 3 semesters. Okay, that will boost your math background, but you need to have some background of math, be applied, be core. It doesn't matter. For example, whatever is the high school math. I had that high school math and then went into a very different field. But because I had a basic amount of math in my engineering, I could transition into data science. But again, as I said, right, this is an undergraduate program we are going to talk about, not a postgraduate program right now. So I think a basic level of high school math should be good enough.
Okay, thank you so much. My second question is like if a person has say maths core or applied whatever, with that, what is the best subject option? Is it computer science, AI, or economics?
I think that answer one should give oneself after joining a institute and kind of seeing and talking to professors and finding out where your interest lies with what is the market demand. So what is the best can be different for different people. I may be interested in a programming heavy career. So what is the best may be different from somebody is more interested in a certain domain or certain kind of companies. So what is the best? The answer will be different for that person. Okay, so that answer you don't need to give yourself before, but you can figure it out on the way. Okay, that what is the best changes with time also.
Okay, thank you so much. But with maths, suppose if somebody has maths and AI, so what would be the career made in that?
See, maths and AI is no such thing as maths and AI. Maths is a fundamental aspect. It's like a base. Now, let's say you've learned AI or data science and AI or whatever. There are multiple careers which are coming up today. Career tracks are evolving. So what was just data scientist or data analyst or data engineer? Today, there is healthcare AI, financial AI, legal AI, compliance AI. There will be different job roles which are coming up 6 months from now, which is not presented here. So I think AI is going to be there. There is no doubt about it. The demand for people who know and can use AI tools is going to be there. What is the exact job role that will change with time?
Thank you, sir. And with what about maths and economics? If
So
somebody has maths
economics
and
went,
economics.
there is a different cut of demand. As I said, the whole banking and financial world is there who need these people. So there is the banks themselves, there's the investment bodies, there is regulatory bodies, there are financial institutes, there are investment firms, there are consulting companies. Okay, so it's a broader base of employers there for you, not just technology companies like, Amazon and Google and stuff. So you have a very broader base to cater to.
Fine. Thank you, sir. And it's going to be a 4 years course, I guess, right?
This is a 4-year program. Yes. The details, I think the admissions team will be able to give you on request.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Anjali. We have another question from Milan Karda. When we sit for the placements, what is the job profile we get after BTech in data science? I think we've covered already in the session, but sir, if you would like to answer
Yeah,
that.
so again, the job profiles will change for the next 4 years, but currently the job profiles targeted are data scientists, data engineers, I guess, business analysts, ML engineers, econometrists, people. I think there is a spread of there's no that if you do this, you will get this job role. You will be able to solve the demands of the industry based on which specialization you take. There may be a category of companies coming to you, but the job role can vary. Don't tie yourself to a job role. When I started off, it was just data scientist. Now there's a so mind-boggling assortment of options to me. It's like, okay, you know what? It's hard for me to now explain the nuances of everything. Just know that there'll be some job role which will fit you better than the hundreds of other job roles which are coming up.
I think that's where Plaksha is also trying to create not the job seekers, but the job creators.
Creators, yeah.
Right. We have Ms. Shruti who's asking for the admission rounds in academic session. Shruti, admission process will start in the month of November, December. Another question from Anant. Will there be application of class 12 math or something else entirely?
Will it be application of class 12 math? No, you come with the class 12 math, and then whatever is required will be provided, right? You come with the base class 12 math and, basic conceptual knowledge of what is required. There are courses which takes care of everything.
Right. Next, we have Shivang Sharma. He asked if we provide BBA courses. So Shivang, Plaksha is a tech university. We offer BTech courses other than the summer programs and the master's program. So we don't have BBA courses. One more question from Aryan. I'm in class 11 and have taken math and computer science. Is that helpful?
Yeah,
Moreover,
that's
which companies
definitely
comes,
very
so
helpful.
there's a continuing question.
Okay.
Moreover, which companies comes for placements, and though it is early, what is the kind of initial package one gets after doing BTech in data science? And fee structure, you can mention that as well. So fee structure, I'll drop you down the details, and sir, if you can take the other question of the.
So right now, as I said, right, the exact initial package is not something you should be bothered about, because by the time you guys are going to graduate, the market and the values will change, and we are definitely targeting good placements for our batches. So there is no number, because if I comment on a number, that's pretty wrong of me to comment on a
Right.
package number right now. The variation in the market in IIT Madras or IIT Bombay, we are reading some from 4 lakhs to 40 lakhs is going on. So it doesn't make sense to give me a number right now. But what I can say is that the placements would really target good companies, because we are associated inherently with a lot of our founding partners. And by the time you guys graduate, as I'm saying, that the market, the package, all these numbers will just be meaningless. The industry is going through transformation, revisions in salary, fee, demand, everything. So 4 years down the line, this is going to be a very changed number. It won't matter what number is there today. All right. So do you have an
Right.
entrance test? We don't have an entrance test. So we do have a admission interview, I guess.
Anjali Plaksha is university is exactly in Mohali, Punjab. And we don't have a campus in Gurgaon. We have only one campus, which is in Mohali, like I said. Anybody else subject-related questions can virtually raise hands. Else we can wind up. Welcome. Anybody else? One last question, maybe, from the audience. Yes, Anand Goyal wants to speak.
Okay, Anand, go ahead. Yeah.
Anand, do you have a question? Okay. Please go ahead, Anand.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Anand.
So I wanted to know, like, right now I have class 12 maths. You said it would be something else, but like, I don't want a completely just maths course. So like, is it
This is
statistics
not a
based?
maths course. This is not a course. So it's not a course. It's a 4-year undergraduate program. Okay.
Yes, but like,
It
what?
encompasses everything that you would need in a very holistic sense. So it's not a math plus programming plus math plus programming. So I would really request you to look into the curriculum, if that can be provided by the academic team, into what is the offering, and that would
Okay.
help you to solve your question.
Okay.
Anand, you can go to the BTech section and find the DSCB program, Data Science, Economics, and Business, and you'll be able to see the entire curriculum on the website as well.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Anand. Anybody else? So I don't think so. We are left with any more questions, sir. And there we wind up for today's webinar. We will come back to you with another series of webinars, IOTA to Infinity. Till then, if you have any questions, do visit us. There's a helpline number on the website. You can also reach out to all of us. And you can also email it to us at apply@plaksha.edu.in for those of you who wants to speak to any regional managers and wants to know about the admission process. So thank you so much, Dr. Anish, for all your time and helping us with a very interesting session. We had a wide range of audience today, and we all are happy with the conversations today.
Yeah, thank you. And
Thank
it's
you
a
so
pleasure
much.
to take, see the interest generated in everybody, young minds and not so young minds. Have a very good evening and a very good weekend, guys. And, stay
Thank you,
safe.
sir. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you.